Hello everybody, and welcome back to some All the Mod 7 to the Sky. How you guys doing today? I hope you are doing well. I am. So, the last few episodes we've been doing a bit of all over the place. We've done some magical stuff. We've done some power stuffs. We've done some more magical stuffs. We got our applied energistics started. We've done some crop growing experimenting with these guys, those guys, over here, over there, everywhere. So we've been kind of all over the place. I talked about needing to do some Botania stuff off camera, is just crafting. I did do some of that to a certain extent. We've got a few quests to complete, mostly just the cheap and easy stuff to do. I haven't got into like making the Terror Steel armor or any of the Alf Steel stuff yet, or fighting the Gaia Guardian 2. Most of this stuff is just mana crafting and it's all that it is. So I've got a few things that we need to claim right quick before we go, or before we get started. That one, and I think that is it. Lovely. So it gives us a bit of living wood, or not living, but a bit of Botania stuff. I have fought the Gaia Guardian a few times. We're going to be fighting the Gaia Guardian 2 here soon. But as far as getting mana now, just crafted or just making nether stars. That was one of the things that I hadn't done yet. We were having to kill withers. I had this thing over here, and I did do this as we have with the all the modium stuff. I have nether stars growing now too, and so I just would throw some down, fill them up, do what crafting I needed to be done with getting Terror Steel and stuff like that, and moved on about our business. So, but that is not what we are going to do today. If you've seen where we started at, that is what we're going to do. We are going to start over the next few episodes. We're going to be getting into a lot of technical stuff. We're going to spend today trying to get all of our applied energistic stuff automated. Then we're going to work towards mechanism stuff and what thermal stuff that we need, and then go from there. I don't know, maybe some industrial foregoing stuff. We'll see what all we need. But I want to try to get as much of that stuff automated as we need. That way we can go on about our business and not have to worry about stuff whenever we got anything big that we want to do, which we're going to have to get into a bunch of the end game. We still got a lot of mechanism to do. We've still got the FTB industrial contraptions to go through. So getting into all this, it'll be a lot easier if we can just automate what we need as we go along. So that's what we're going to start doing today. We're going to start with doing applied energistic stuff. Now I'm going to tell you how this is going to work. I'm going to wind up doing most of the crafting and setting up off of camera, and then come back and explain it to you how I've got it all done. We're going to have to get into a bunch of stuff, and it's stuff that I haven't messed with in a while. If we go into a quest book here, applied energistics, we're going to be getting into the lazy AE2 stuff. That's not the lazy AE2 stuff. This stuff here is not lazier AE2. We're going to be getting into crafting all that. We're going to be getting into making patterns and input buses and ME interfaces and all that stuff. We're going to be getting into molecular assemblers, and we're going to be getting everything hopefully set up today and going on about this. That way, as we move on, all I have to do is, if I need some cables, I'll have the cables. I can just do it. Because we're going to be running a lot of cables. We're going to be running a lot of network through here. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. So, I've got to get started. And the first thing that I've got to get started with is one of the things that we need a bunch of is going to be glass. This is one of the things that we need to take care of. Glass. And we've got one real good, easy way of doing this, and that's the Material Stoneworks Factories. We're going to be making quite a few of these. These guys are awesome. We can use them to make cobblestone and gravel and sand and dust and about everything else you could want to do. Obsidian, andesite, diorite. We can grind it. We can craft it. We can do, yeah. What was that? I didn't know we could do that. I was not aware of that. Anyways, yeah, so that's what we're going to do. This guy's not really that bad to do. We do need to get pink slime, which we've got pink slime going over here. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and get us what glass panes we have and just go ahead and get that going. So yeah, we've got that. There is a dark spot. I've got a lot of crafting to do. I got a lot of setting up to do. We will get started with this. Alright, so we are back. We've got our first bit of business set up here. This is kind of the setup that will go with all the machines. It won't all be just exactly like this, but it's kind of the cobblestone's going to go away. That's part of the reason why we've got sand going. We cannot create dust inside of the Material Stoneworks Factory. Instead of creating dust from sand, it actually creates silicon, so now we've got silicon automated for our processes, and that's not something that we have to worry about anymore. But we've got glass, we've got the silicon, gravel, sand, and regular stone as a way to get through, try to figure out something else to do here. But these guys are all working. We've got speed tier 2s, efficiency tier 2s, and processing tier 2s, and it's making this stuff fairly quick. So we've got all that. If we come in here, actually we can just come right back here. We got all this. So one thing I learned, and I don't know why this is a thing, with just straight pushing out of the machines into the drawers, it would only put 64 in it, and that was it. Everything else backed up. So I had to pipe out of it. We've got pipes running out to each one of these, and so that's got us good to go. We can seal the deal here. Not like that, we can't. Our slimes are getting out of control. I was worried about slimes. We were worried about whether or not our slime chunk worked, and yeah, it's working there. But now we should be able to look inside of here and start seeing silicon, sand, all that stuff. We've got it all taken care of. I've got storage buses. I didn't show that. We got storage buses run under here. This is only using 5 channels, so this will probably be about all we'll need off of this. But I've got storage buses. They're set up with a priority of 1,000. That way, if we put anything inside the system, it'll go right back into these drawers instead of going into the ME system itself. So now that we've got that, it's on to the next bit of business. Alright, so we are back. We're ready for our next step. We've got these guys set up. Matter of fact, if we go in here and look, they are all ready to start crafting our processors. Now, the problem is, if I click on one of these and tell it to do something, it's going to tell me, one, that it's missing those, which we've got to get that part set up, but that it has no crafting CPUs. So we need to get crafting CPUs set up, which I have set up 3 of them over here. I just haven't done this. So basically, these guys can be built in blocks. They can be a 1x1, they can be a 2x2, 3x3, and up. They have to have the crafting co-processing unit. So if you want just the way these are stacked up, one is enough. If we put another one down here to spread it, you see it breaks it, and then it's got to be done all the way around. And then we'd need all of these here. If I'm not mistaken, and which there could possibly be, you need one of these for each recipe that you're wanting to do. So if we're wanting to do 2 different sets of processors, we'd need 2 of these to be able to do it, or we'd have to wait for one recipe to finish and for the other to do. Right now, since we don't have everything that we need readily available. This is where we're at as far as this goes. We can throw us a pipe down here, or not a pipe, but our flux cable down here, and connect this, and these guys should pop up. It's going to show that we're using 3 of 8 channels. I love smart cables. Smart cables are the best things to use with this, and then from any kind of point. So from here to just these guys, we just need 1. It tells us that we're using 3 channels off this line, and if we split it, we'd want to use another smart cable. And I've got the same thing over here. These guys, the pattern providers, all take up a channel. What surprised me is the inscribers don't actually take up a channel. They will draw power. They're drawing power from the system, even though they're not showing up in the system. They are still drawing power, I do believe. I'm not 100% sure on that just yet. We've got to see about this. So let's craft up 100 of those. So that should be crafting. It's running. And it's doing exactly what it needs to do. It's keeping power in it. I don't know why it shows that it's got 240 stored. But it's keeping power. I may go ahead and hook up power to these just to be on the safe side. So if I do that, yeah, I don't know where it's getting its power from. So, but we've got that. Now we've got auto crafting. Ooh, it actually tells you that. That is awesome. I haven't used, I don't know if I talked about that. I haven't used applied energetics in a while. Everybody seems to want to do and watch refined storage, so that's kind of what I went with. Have always gone with, but I've always loved applied energetics. It's a little bit harder to get through, but it is a lot more fun and efficient usually when you get it set up right. So now that we've got that, we can start as far as machine processing. I have no idea what that is. Anyways, now that we've got all that going, we can start making all of our processors that we need to. But as you've seen, like I said, we've got calculation issues. We need Certus cords. So that is something that I need to work on next, is processing some of these items, which to do this, we've got 2 ways of doing this. We can do it with the enrichment chamber, or we can do it with the Fluix aggregator. I don't know which one's better. I do know that if we do it with the mechanism way, we should be able to upgrade everything as we go and can do that. So let's see what we can do with this guy. Alright, so this actually works out a lot better than I thought it would. This is allowing us to import and export straight from the pattern provider into the enrichment chamber. I've got this set up to input output on the back with the auto eject on, so this is working. Like I said, we're going to have to speed this process up, but for now this is the way we're going to go. Eventually what we're going to do is I'm going to spend some time our setup with the phytogenic isolators. I'm digging this. I like the way it's working. It's working great. We're getting a bunch of essence out of here fairly quickly. So this is kind of what I want to start doing with some of our seeds, setting us up a area. We're not going to do it right now. For the moment, we're going to do all of that. So, but our processing, at least of this, is done for the moment. I can, while I'm down here, speedy this up some, and it's done. So, but the problem that we have at the moment is actually doing recipes. We can make the Certus quartz, but we can't do, if we look at this, we haven't learned how to make the Certus Quartz seed. And for the Certus Quartz seeds, we need a crafting recipe for that. So, we need to get us a bunch of pattern providers set up, and we're also going to need some molecular assemblers. These guys right here. These guys, when made, I need to hook all of this up. So we've got that stuff, but we're going to worry about that later. But it'll make it to where we can tell our system to craft just crafting recipes like we're doing right now and not have to do the manual part of this. So I need to make up a bunch of these and a bunch of these. They're all fairly easy to make. We just need glass, which is why we got glass going first. We're going to need some of these guys. We're going to need a handful of the formation cores. And that's where we're going to run into an issue because we've got issues with Certus Quartz. Certus Quartz used to be so easy. You used to be able to mine it. Now we mine it and we get dust from it. Got a few Certus Quartz. But anyways, I'm going to get stuff going and then I will be back. So I'm trying to figure things out as I go here. Like I said, it's been a minute. So what I can figure out is that the pattern providers do not use a channel. That's why we were getting power over here. And it shows that we're using, what shows 8 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, this is, now I'm confused. Because I sat down, maybe it doesn't, it just won't add another channel. It used to, if you added too many channels, it shut off. Anyhoozle. But we've got, this shows us that we are using 22 channels on here. And if we go upstairs and look, I've got the pattern access terminal. We have, well, 21 or 22 molecular assemblers because I renamed one of them, which I need to fix that, but it's down in the middle of it, so I don't care. Anyways, we've got a spot now to where we can now do crafting patterns. So for our Certus Quartz bits that we need, we can now do the recipe for the seed, and we can put it in here. And now we should be able, if I tell this thing to, where's my, if I want to craft 100 of these, it should do everything that we need for it to do now. And our machine down here should still be, or should actually be running. And it is. Lovely. Now we just need to speed the machine up. Now we can do this with the Fluix aggregator, but it is a lot more processing to get into that I don't really want to do today. I like this way. We're going to go with it. Well, I didn't want to necessarily have to do this, but we're going to have to. If I want to get all the applied energistics stuff automated to where I don't have to worry about it anymore, we are going to have to get into lazier AE2, because this is going to be the only way we can do not the charged Certus Quartz, but the Fluix crystals. These guys, in order to make the dust, we've got to do that. And that is where the issue arrives. There's no way of making it without just throwing it in the water or with the Fluix aggregator. So that's what we're going to get into. We're going to have to get into Fluix steel, which to make that, we've got to make the matter infuser. The matter infuser, we've got to make nothing we haven't done. The resonating crystals is where we are at. We got to make the seed, which we need resonating dust, which is to throw what I've got in my inventory here into some water, and I don't have water there anymore. So this guy, this guy, this guy. And why are we not turning? Skystone dust, diamond, and ender dust. Ender dust cannot be, I got the wrong, that's... We can use it for everything but that. I got to get some more ender pearls. Alright, so we are back. I have made my way through most of Lazier AE2. We've got 3 of the Fluix aggregators, and I have a matter infuser set up. These guys will produces the Fluix dust, so we don't have to throw the stuff in the water. We've got one for the charged Certus quartz, so we don't have to run it through the little charger. We've got one for making both of the Certus quartz and the Fluix, which if I had this guy over here, this guy works a little bit faster. Actually, it works a lot faster, especially right now. And then we've got this guy, which the matter infuser makes a few items we're going to need, like andesite alloy, Fluix pearls. Quartz I'm not worried about, but the glass is the one thing that I'm worried about, because if you look at the recipe for the glass, 4 and 5 gives you 4. With this, 1 and 1 gives you 1. So this works out a little bit cheaper. So yeah, we've got that. So all that is now done. As far as anything weird, we had to make these parallel processors, which in the inscriber takes the printed parallel circuit, which takes the resonating crystal, which we made, the seed, or the dust, which was the sky stone, the diamond, and ender dust, because we made the wrong ender dust. And then we needed, to make this, we needed a universal press. This guy uses all of the presses into one, and using it, you can place it in one of the circuit etchers, or actually even into one of these, and it will do whatever resource you put in it, it'll make it. But I figured we'd go this way instead. It keeps everything nice and separate and neat and tidy. So we got that. We did have to get into making the singularities, so I had to make another 64K ME storage component, and then I've got this thing just being pumped in with one of our cobblestone generators. It was this one. We really don't have use for this stuff anymore other than this, and I can probably pipe lava in from down there. So all of that's nice cleaned up. This is all fairly clean now. It can all go away. Don't think there's anything. Well, there was that. So, but there we go. All cleaned up. We've got us a little more space. I can get rid of all this stuff. We've got some more space to work with now. Now comes the part of completing some quests. We got a bunch of quests to complete. I was looking to see through what all we were going to have needed to get through for through applied energistics. We'll have to set some recipes, but as far as everything goes, we are golden. As far as everything, the only thing I've got wrong right now is just a lack of Certus quartz, and we're going to work our way through that probably next episode. We're not going to do the farm, but we're going to do thermal machines first, get all that automated to where I can start setting up our farms with those guys, get all of that going, and then we'll get into mechanism. So, but quest wise, let's see here. We got a bunch of quests. One for our cables, or the smart cables. Good to go there. One for a matter ball and a matter condenser. The matter ball is just the small version of the singularity, is really what it is. This guy we need to do all that. I'll do that later. But as far as auto crafting, we got growth accelerators. We made those. We made the resonating crystals. That's part of what we needed for the Lazier AE2, and then we've got the Lazier AE2 machines, and we've got one more to make, and this guy I'm not necessarily worried about, so no big deal. Then we got patterns, we got the molecular assemblers, we've got acceleration cards, We've got our crafting storage, which to do this, it can use any of the crafting storage. And then we got our coprocessors. And then we've got our interface, quartz fiber, storage bus, and import bus. And that is all the quests. So we've run through just about all of applied energistics. Really, the only thing left that we've got to do is look at some fluid storage and some P2P stuff. So, but with that, it's a lot of stuff. We're sitting on a bunch of stuff. All this stuff can go up now. We are done with it all. And I can get on about our business. So, that can go up too. Nice clean inventory. With that, all of our applied energistic stuff, we can start setting patterns for storage, and we start setting patterns for, there's another one of those. They're always hanging out. Start making patterns for all the stuff, input, output, interfaces, pattern providers. We can start doing all that. So, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!